But for them to claim that they were kind of defending the soul of Sheffield felt disingenuous. My colleague Victoria, he spent 6 months researching a story about the Leadmill.
Yeah.
Journalists in local newspapers just do not get the time to do that anymore. And that's kind of the unique thing that the Tribune offers journalists, gives them a chance to really investigate stuff. And it produces, brilliant things that that Leadmill piece completely changed the conversation around the Leadmill in Sheffield.
I watched that happening in real time, and we had a topic on Sheffield Forum about it as well, which was quite popular. And at the start, lots of people were very sympathetic to Leadmill.
Yeah.
And then as it went on and through some of your reporting and other things happening, I think the sentiment kind of really changed, didn't it? Really, the balance of the sentiment really changed. I know a lot of people at the Leadmill. I feel really sorry for what happened there, but I think the public perception of it really did kind of take a turn at one point.
It's a fascinating story what's happened at the Leadmill. But from its inception in the early 80s and how it changed from being this really idealistic kind of community-focused venue into just being any other venue run for profit. I can understand why the previous owners of the Leadmill were disappointed and angry about Dominic Madden for coming along. But for them to claim that they were kind of defending the soul of Sheffield by saying that Madden shouldn't be allowed to buy it felt disingenuous to a lot of the people we were speaking to.
Obviously, the people at the Leadmill were kind of not best pleased with some of your reporting on it, I guess. How do you balance that as an editor and a journalist, that you might be having to be slightly negative about an institution in Sheffield with kind of like the aspiration as well of sharing good news? What's the...
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the great things about the Tribune is that because we do longer form journalism, we can actually get into kind of the nuance of a story. So, for example, my colleagues Victoria and Molly recently did something about the showroom. And we'd been contacted by several members of staff saying things weren't that great at the showroom. But I think that piece was very fair to what was going on at the showroom, and it explained what was going on in a very fair way to the people who were managing it and everyone who was involved in it. I don't think it was. I understand what you're saying. Sometimes things can come across like a hatchet job, and we really wouldn't want that to happen. Yeah. Whenever we do a story, we want to be fair to the people we're writing about. I think in the Leadmill piece, we were fair to them. It was a difficult. Those kind of organisations, those kind of arts organisations, are incredibly difficult to run. I think difficult to turn into kind of a profit making or not loss making institutions. You know what I mean? So I think the fact that we can go longer allows us to explain things in a bit more depth. I'd be really disappointed if people thought that we were doing things just to kind of slag things off, because that's absolutely not what we want to do. We want to kind of big things up like the showroom, because I think the showroom's a great thing, but obviously it's an organisation that's facing problems. I like the Leadmill, but the story there was that the people who had been involved in it, setting it up, were unhappy about the way that this campaign to save it was being sold. I just think we try and get as deep as we possibly can and explain things with as much nuance as we possibly can, and just try and be fair to people. But criticising big cultural organisations in Sheffield is not easy. You inevitably are going to annoy some people, and we have annoyed some people. Yeah, and I don't like doing that, because I like being liked. I like people liking the Tribune. I like people liking me, but sometimes you can't please everybody all the time, unfortunately.
Have you had pushback from any of these organisations that you've covered? Anyone seriously got in touch and had a go? Sometimes our stuff about the Leadmill attracts some criticism, say, we've been too hard on the previous owners and too easy on the new owners, but I don't think that's true at all. We've also, the people we've written stories about have been in touch numerous times to threaten to sue. We've never actually been sued yet, so I think a lot of people maybe threaten to sue because they think you're going to back down, but then when you don't, they don't really follow through with it. But it's a scary thing when someone sends you a letter or an email saying they're going to sue you, because if we did get it wrong and we were sued for a lot of money, it could mean the end of the Tribune. So we've got to be very, very careful. We do have lawyers we use to legal our stories. Yeah, but it's still quite a worrying thing to happen whenever it does.
But I think also it means that you're doing good journalism as well, because exposing wrongdoing and kind of holding the powerful to account is kind of one of the points of what journalism is, really.
Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to REYT wherever you get your podcasts. It's completely free, and it's the best way to make sure you never miss a conversation. And also, wherever you get your podcasts, please drop a review. A nice 5-star review really helps us get seen in the algorithm of these things. I'll not go into it. It's just complex and confusing. REYT is the independent Sheffield podcast powered by Sheffield Forum at sheffieldforum.co.uk for everything Sheffield. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.